Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this is my review for the Humanity Bureau. The Humanity Bureau. Set in the near future, where climate change has wreaked havoc in parts of the American Midwest, a government agency called the Humanity Bureau exiles members of society deemed unproductive and banishes them to a colony known as New Eden. This is rated R. This is a 2018 film, and it runs 94 minutes. It stars that guy, Nick Cage. Yeah. Go Nick Cage, right? Yeah. That's why I wanted to see it. So, I purely saw this movie because it had Nick Cage in it. And so I had no idea what it was about, and I just gave it a shot. I seen it at Walmart on the shelf, and I was like, Nick Cage movie I haven't heard of. So I got it. I watched it. I can tell why nobody's buying it at Walmart. I can see why there's copies on the shelf. So we'll get into my notes here. The first thing I just bugged me the whole movie is that this kid asks Nick Cage while he's doing one of these meetings with the family to deem if they're productive member of society or they need to be replaced at New Eden in this colony separate from disease and all this other stuff. And so they're doing this interview, and the kid says, I bet you don't even know how old I am. And Nick Cage says, oh, yeah, 11. And the kid's like, oh, he knew my age. And I'm like, okay, stop, whoa, stop. This kid looks like he's at least 14. Can we just say that he's 14? Like, can we just be smart when we're making a movie and see what he looks like and say that's how old he is? Because I'm not buying 11 at all, whatsoever. He didn't play the character of an 11-year-old. He doesn't talk like an 11-year-old. No, the 11-year-old couldn't be in that situation and be as manly as this little kid is. No, not happening. So that's what really bugged me most of the time was that line and everything that the kid does after that, deeming if he looks like an 11-year-old or not. So it says that this is supposed to be in the near future. So I guess this is like their interpretation of 2040 or 2030. I don't know. Um, this is really kind of strange, and they don't really give a reason why their world stopped doing things or what spread or whatever. This is a very choppy movie, and so for them to not give reasons for things is very understandable because they just go to this scene, that scene, that scene, and they didn't have any kind of setup like Resident Evil, and they don't explain themselves at the end very well, and they have some sort of a conclusion at the end, but yeah, it just I don't know. I'm not buying the near future. I feel like this is a little bit more down the line, but for their purposes and the storyline of what there is, minimal storyline, it has to happen within 11 years, I guess. So it seemed like it could have been placed farther in the future, and I would have bought it a little bit more that no plants are growing, that no water's clean. I don't know. I have movies that I think this movie is like, and I'm just going to go through them and say why I think it's like that movie. I think this is kind of like Shutter Island with Leo and The Island with Ewan McGregor. In those ways, it's a really good mystery. Like, I was waiting for something to happen, and near the end, something happens. It's not that big of a reveal, but it feels like it should be a big reveal. So the whole time I was like bought into the movie because there's something to look forward to. And in the way of Shutter Island and The Island, I was anticipating that, and it seemed like it was some kind of big mystery And even though it wasn't a big mystery, it still felt like a big reveal. So I give it credit for being like those movies, and I did appreciate it a little bit in that aspect. It felt like Book of Eli. I don't know if anybody has actually seen that movie because it sort of has Bible references throughout the whole movie. And so like nobody saw it, but I loved it. I've seen it like 10 times. It has the chick from that 70s show in it, and it has, I think it's Denzel is in that. But it's an awesome movie, and I love it. And it's just been a while since I've seen it, but it totally reminded me of Book of Eli. There's no resources. It feels like once we stop being able to grow plants and have water, and money means nothing, and we have no technology, we just kind of resort back to a minimal society, and we're fighting over the things that are necessary to live off of. And I love movies like that. I usually love movies like that. It's Book of Eli and this, and I like that storyline and that aspect of it that they put in there. But like I said, for them to say that it's in the near future, it just didn't feel like we were really at that point of their history where something minimal meant so much. Like it was, I've never even thought about this that way. There were a couple times where a minimal character was like, "Oh, what's this thing? A cookie jar?" And the main villain had to explain to him what a cookie jar is. There were aspects like that, and so it kept me intrigued and kept me kind of interested. And I hate to say it, but the other movie that has Bureau in the name is The Adjustment Bureau. Um, this movie and that movie differ in a way that there's a bureau after them and everything. That's similar. There's a love interest sort of that isn't supposed to be. That's similar. But the way that the Adjustment Bureau works is with like destiny and fate, and it's like almost in an alternate universe. This is supposed to be in America. They actually call it New America a couple times, and it's supposed to be very down to earth and normal people. And I mean, they're chasing each other in cars, and nobody's seen a car in a long time. But like, it's supposed to be very homely and not adventurous sci-fi, otherworldly. So I'd say that's the difference in the two movies. Adjustment Bureau is a lot more action and a lot more well put together, and Immunity Bureau just kind of is skipping around and has a lot of different ideas and concepts that it skips to, and the ending it makes no sense whatsoever. And the Adjustment Bureau very much concludes itself. But the fact that they have Bureau in the name, I had to compare the two. They have such weird conversations. Like the one I wrote down was, um, yeah, I'd really like some coffee. Oh, yeah, we should figure out what to do about these people after us. Oh, I have no idea how to make coffee. Oh, it's okay. I really think we're all going to die. It was really weird. And it continued throughout the movie, like weird conversations. Somebody would say something, and somebody would say something having nothing to do with anything whatsoever, and that's their reply. I was like, what is going on? I just felt very awkward with the conversation. I don't know, it's just the writing or the way that people are delivering the lines, but it felt like nobody had their heart in it. That's for sure, because it was such weird conversation. I did write down. I wanted to know why Nick Cage decided that these people needed saving, and with the twist that happens, it ends up kind of like The Island, where people aren't going to a magical place or somewhere different, where things can be happy and great. They're just killed. And that's the big twist of the movie. I wanted to know why Nick Cage had to rescue this family once he found out that reality. And it does get explained. So I'm happy about that. That was good. There's yeah, the twist is really nice. It connects the movie. It keeps you at least with valid thoughts of what's going on and how pathetic everything else is, that there's actually a movie still going on. So it's kind of cool that we find out that Nick Cage, has this son, but the ending is so awful. It just kind of blurs that out also. And the big reveal of, people not going to this place called Eden and them just being killed. It was a big reveal. It was nice, but like I said, it just kind of was delivered so poorly, and it wasn't like shown, and it wasn't, we were so far away from that situation. They were very much in the Nick Cage and this girl and this boy situation that we never really got to feel the full effect of what was really going on. This we get told at the beginning of this movie that the Humanity Bureau basically controls everything, and Nick Cage is able to kind of go where he needs to, and there's like five people following him, and one is like a complete buffoon. So I don't know how legitimate this movie really is. I don't know why Nick Cage would sign on to it, but for him, I just felt sad, and for the rest of the movie, I thought it was really pathetic. So the worst grade I give movies is a D because I understand what goes into them, but I'd like to give this a D plus because I can tell they were trying. I can tell they had a story, and I can tell the people really wanted to try and make this work. The running away from people just felt very, slow, but they were running away. There was a reason for them to exist. And once they started meeting people along their way, those people are actually pretty interesting. And they gave the plot, some substantial ground to stand on. And so we had a couple things that were released, and I appreciated those. So a D plus for the Humanity Bureau. I probably talked way too long about this, but it's a weird movie, and I think that's what it's going to be for anybody who sees this. It's not a bad movie by any means, but it's just really, really weird. So maybe give it a watch sometime in your life. Say that you've seen all the Nick Cage movies because he is in this one, obviously. So thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would, and enjoy your movies. Thanks.